Real-life stories in health by the fireplace. Dr. Jessica Thompson stood in the hospital corridor. Her white coat crisply pressed, a familiar shield of authority. To her patients, she was a beacon of hope, a figure of unwavering confidence. Yet, beneath the pristine fabric, her heart held a tapestry of moments that painted her journey as a healer. Before we get started, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe and click the bell icon to ensure that you do not miss any of our incredible stories. If you have your own real-life story in health that you would like us to make into a video, please share it in the comments below. Jessica's path to becoming a doctor was born from a promise she made to her ailing grandmother. The frail hand that once held hers as they sat in the dimly lit room whispered, "Jessica, promise me you'll help others. Heal them as you healed me with your love." That promise became the guiding star of her life. It pushed her through endless nights of studying, sacrificing personal time to grasp the complexities of medicine, and forging resilience from moments of self-doubt. Her first years as an intern were tumultuous. The hospital buzzed with life, death, and the thin line between. The white coat draped over her shoulders felt heavier with each passing day. Sleep became a distant luxury as she navigated the trials of the era, bearing witness to human suffering in its rawest form. The sacrifice extended beyond the long hours. Relationships withered in the shadow of her dedication to medicine. Birthdays, holidays, and anniversaries blurred together, marked only by the hospital's relentless rhythm. Yet, amidst the chaos, Jessica found solace in the moments where she could offer comfort. A gentle touch, a reassuring smile. These were her silent acts of rebellion against the clinical detachment that sometimes pervaded the halls. One winter evening, an elderly patient, Mrs. Wilson, laid frail in the sterile hospital bed. Beyond her diagnosis, Jessica saw a woman woven from stories of resilience. She sat by Mrs. Wilson's side, sharing tales of her grandmother, finding connection beyond medical charts. In that shared vulnerability, Jessica witnessed the power of empathy. It wasn't just about prescriptions and procedures, it was about understanding the human spirit entangled in illness. As Jessica climbed the ranks, she faced the delicate balancing act between professionalism and humanity. The white coat, once a symbol of authority, became a canvas upon which she painted empathy and understanding. She mentored younger doctors, imparting not just medical knowledge but the art of healing with compassion. Beyond the hospital walls, she devoted time to her family and rediscovered the joys of life outside medicine. Balancing her calling with personal fulfillment became an ongoing dance, a symphony she conducted with grace and determination. Years passed, and Jessica's white coat bore the stains of countless encounters, of triumphs and losses, of tears and laughter. As she stood in the hospital corridor once again, she gazed at the newcomers bustling by. She saw herself in their eager eyes, the flame of determination burning brightly. Jessica knew that beneath every white coat lay a tapestry of stories, of promises made, sacrifices endured, and the unwavering commitment to healing. It wasn't just about the science. It was about the humanity woven into the fabric of healthcare. Jessica understood that beneath the pristine surface of a doctor's coat lay a profound narrative, one of dedication, sacrifice, and the enduring power of compassion. It was a story she carried within her, a story she shared with every patient she encountered, a story that breathed life into her calling as a healer. Jessica's footsteps faltered along the hospital corridor, a patient now in the realm where she had once been a healer. The familiar scent of disinfectant mixed with an undercurrent of unease as her condition continued its unpredictable dance. Tubes and monitors tethered her to an existence she barely recognized. As her strength waned, Jessica grappled not only with her declining health but with the dawning realization that the compassion she had poured into her patients was not universally reciprocated. The cold reality cut deeper as Dr. Martin, her attending physician, approached with a clinical air that bordered on indifference. Dr. Martin's demeanor grated against Jessica's expectations. His once respected white coat now seemed a shroud of detachment. His words were like icicles, devoid of the warmth she had always strived to offer her own patients. The contrast between her experiences as a compassionate caregiver and her current treatment under Dr. Martin's care sparked a fierce internal conflict. As her vulnerability deepened, so did her frustration. The more she longed for empathy, the more Dr. Martin's indifference sharpened into a weapon against her diminishing hope. The conflict simmered beneath her skin, a brewing storm of disillusionment and disappointment. Jessica's distress swelled, mirroring the chaos of the machines that monitored her failing health. Dr. Martin's clinical detachment became a relentless thorn in her side, exacerbating her anguish. Their interactions grew strained, each encounter a battleground of unspoken tension. Her pleas for understanding fell on deaf ears, met with a callousness that grated against her every fiber. The clash of their conflicting ideologies intensified, the once revered healer reduced to a mere number on a medical chart in Dr. Martin's eyes. As Jessica navigated the tumultuous waters of her own illness, an unexpected turn of events rippled through the hospital corridors. Dr. Martin, once the epitome of clinical detachment, fell ill. His ailment puzzled the medical fraternity, defying diagnosis despite exhaustive examinations by various specialists. Jessica, while grappling with her own struggle, couldn't ignore the irony of the situation. Despite the conflict and animosity between them, she found herself empathizing with Dr. Martin's plight. His suffering reminded her of the vulnerability inherent in every human being, regardless of their role or past interactions. The baffling nature of Dr. Martin's illness sent shockwaves through the hospital. Jessica's new attending physician, Dr. Richards, took charge of her care. In a chance encounter during rounds, Dr. Richards shared Dr. Martin's symptoms with Jessica, seeking a different perspective. Jessica's heart raced as she recognized a pattern in the symptoms, a pattern that echoed a rare condition she had encountered years ago. Despite the lingering conflict, her commitment to healing overrode any animosity she harbored toward Dr. Martin. In a moment of reluctant realization, Jessica approached Dr. Richards with cautious words. She hesitated, mindful of the strained history between her and Dr. Martin. Yet, driven by her conviction, she tentatively suggested a specific test that hadn't been considered before. Dr. Richards, initially skeptical, listened as Jessica detailed her suspicions. Despite the lingering tension, he recognized the sincerity in her voice. With a tinge of hesitation, he agreed to run the test, acknowledging the possibility that Jessica might hold a key to unlocking the mystery of Dr. Martin's illness. The test results arrived, confirming Jessica's suspicions. The diagnosis painted a rare picture, unveiling the enigma behind Dr. Martin's deteriorating health. The hospital corridors buzzed with a newfound sense of astonishment as the medical team delved deeper into the diagnosis. Jessica's heart swelled with a mix of emotions: relief, validation, and a twinge of empathy. Despite the conflict that had defined her interactions with Dr. Martin, she found closure in being able to contribute to unraveling the mystery that had plagued him. As Jessica's journey within the hospital drew to a close, a sense of quiet satisfaction settled within her. The conflict with Dr. Martin had not only revealed the resilience within her but had also underscored the timeless truth of compassion in healthcare. The unexpected turn of events had dissolved the animosity between them, replaced by a shared understanding of vulnerability and the intrinsic connection between healers and patients. Jessica's legacy as a compassionate caregiver had transcended the barriers of personal conflicts, leaving a lasting imprint on the hospital's narrative of empathy and understanding. Jessica's unexpected role in diagnosing Dr. Martin's illness bridged the chasm of conflict between them. In the unlikeliest of circumstances, she reaffirmed the profound impact of compassion and empathy in the healing process, leaving behind a legacy that transcended personal differences. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more.